Hello, this is Matthew Miller from the ZDNet Smartphones and Cell Phones blog. In my other video of Windows Phone 7 devices, I took a look at the Samsung Focus. And having two devices, both the Samsung Focus and the HTC Surround, I kind of was using the Samsung Focus for most of the time, thinking it was the better device. However, after another day with the Surround, I'd have to say that if I was on AT&T, I would probably maybe even go for the Surround. The screen is 3.8 inches versus 4 inches, and it's not OLED. However, the colors look a little bit truer, not so bright and vibrant to me. But the hardware is just a fantastic piece of hardware. You know, it's very solid feeling to me compared to the glossy finish Samsung kind of plasticky device. I mean, it's much lighter here on the Samsung device. This HTC Surround feels like it's built like a rock, and it actually reminds me quite a bit of the HTC the T-Mobile G2. If you look at the size of them, they're both very similar in width and design features. Shoot, they're almost the same. That I could like to see a keyboard like this on a Windows Phone 7 device, and that may be something we see in the future. So let's take a look at the HTC Surround, and then I'll shoot some more videos of some applications and things like that. So what we have with the device, of course, you know, most of these devices are going to be fairly standard because the requirements for Microsoft, right? So we've got this traditional three buttons on the bottom, which are capacitive again. You know, the back, the start, and the search. Got a nice finish here. It has the brushed metal. It has lots of metal on it and soft touch material. On the left side, there's really nothing. On the right side, you see there's a volume switch there, and a camera button. The physical camera button is a requirement, as is the 5-megapixel camera with a flash in the back. You can also see it says SRS Dolby Mobile. Windows Phone. On the bottom is the micro USB port and the microphone. And then up top is the 3.5mm headset jack. Looks like a secondary mic maybe, and then also the power button. Now what makes this phone a bit different is the speakers, and they slide out, as you can see, kind of like a keyboard would, right? There's the speakers, and this button here is the sound enhancer button. You press to enable Dolby or SRS Surround, and in a little bit I'll play that so you can hear what that sounds like with some Zune music. And you know, there's as you can see, it only slides out that far. It's not a keyboard that slides out all the way. And then on the back, actually, once you slide it out, there's a little kickstand, and it's kind of a unique. It's kind of thin, but it's as you can see there, it's kind of thin. It pops out. It's spring-loaded, so it pops out. So then when you set it down, it actually will set down on itself and prop itself up. You got to make sure that you shut that, because there's no mechanism as you slide it down. I guess it kind of shuts itself, but you should shut it before you slide it back down on itself. But it feels great in the hand. I mean, this is a very solid feeling device, and even if you don't use the speakers, and at first, you know, I thought the speakers were kind of gimmicky, and I really did not understand the use case of, was there really somebody that was driving them to put such a speaker system on a device? And I kind of didn't understand why that would happen. However, again, it's a very solid device, and as you'll hear the speakers in a minute here, they are pretty good. And maybe there is a reason to have something like that. So this is Windows Phone 7, right? Fairly typical. I've got it customized a little bit. I've got the blue background on there. You see I've got some email accounts. I've got a game. I've got the music videos. Pretty typical stuff. I'll show third-party apps like these in another video, so you can check that out. You know, I'll take a look at each one of these: Netflix, Seismic, Slacker, Foursquare, a couple of ones, Google Voice one. So over here we see that there's the one area where AT&T can load its own things, right? So we have the fan map, the My Wireless, which is your account, the navigator, which you can see here is the AT&T navigator, which is the Telenav provided product that is a voice navigation system. And it's got the fairly typical AT&T navigator look to it, right? Drive to, search, maps and traffic, tools and extras. Pretty typical of what we expect from Telenav, which is a nice option to have. However, there's a subscription fee, so keep that in mind. We also have the AT&T radio, which from my understand is also unable to set up for some reason. Okay. But it's a streaming radio, which again requires a subscription. Same with the Uverse Mobile, which I understand is a TV video application. I don't have Uverse at home or anything else. I'm not sure if I can really use it, so won't go into that. And then all of the typical, we've got the typical Windows Phone 7 stuff with a couple apps thrown in there. There's the games, the Xbox. Now this is new, is the HTC Hub. I showed the Samsung one that had some Samsung stuff. This is the HTC Hub. And unlike Sense on Android and even Windows Mobile in the past, the HTC Hub is a little bit different. It's almost like a standalone application, right? So you come into here, they have some featured apps. You can kind of browse their little app store. They've got the photo enhancer, stocks, notes, converter, sound enhancer, and connection setup. Just a couple of little apps. They link to some games that are in there. Haven't done a lot with those, but what what you see on the home screen, if we tap up here, we actually get into their weather application. So you can see it's zooming in on the weather application. I can tap here, see a bunch of different locations. Let's check on London. Kind of zooms in the weather there, shows me the forecast for the next few days. We can scroll through different cities and see this kind of weather animations and things, and you can manage the settings. And if we tap on demo mode, it should scroll through a bunch of the different animations that you might see. Drag down or up to review weather conditions. Add some animation sounds on that one actually. So what's one thing that's kind of unusual with this HTC Hub, right, is you bounce back out. We go down here, we want to do it again, right? So we tap it again. It does kind of this whole animation of flying into the hub, as you can see there, and then it gets us into the hub. Not a long, just a couple seconds or so to get into the hub, and it's typical like an application kind of thing. So there's some more apps: Internet Explorer, Bing Maps, the Marketplace, my account, some settings, and some more apps there. Okay, so fairly typical Windows Phone 7. So let's take a look at and take a listen to the speakers on this thing. Let's go ahead and go to videos. Go to Party of 5, or no, the outsourced. So let me go ahead and open up the speakers. Now if I press the button,
This shirt is for me because I care about the environment. Spooning may lead to forking.
It's kind of a fun.
I understand. I just can't believe a man would wear a shirt like this in public.
It's actually a women's shirt.
Did he?
Alright, look, they're jokes. They're kind of like icebreakers, a way to start a conversation.
You don't have to meet a woman's family or have a good job. You can meet her just by what it says on the t-shirt.
Yeah, it's possible.
Wow. What is a mustache ride?
That's a little too advanced for today. Maybe next week.
If I give you 10 cents, may I have a ride to work tomorrow?
so you can hear the different speakers in there. Let me just see if there's some music on here. Not sure what I have loaded. Oh, here we go. Here's some Grammar Train. This is the FC Sounders song. So as you can see, the speakers actually do turn into a kind of a nice theater sound for checking out music on the device, right? So that's kind of a look at the HTC Surround on AT&T. Fairly typical standards for specifications on a Windows Phone 7. Has a nice solid feel to it. I like it. The speakers I thought were gimmicky, but they're actually pretty good. And I don't know, on AT&T I was leaning towards the Samsung Focus, but if I was on AT&T I'd seriously consider the Surround. I like the slightly smaller form factor and more heft and quality to it. Thanks for watching.